I go at least 3 to 4 times a week. I go to the gym and it does wonders for me. Boom! What's going on, guys? My name is Tom and I have type 3 osteogenesis imperfecta. I know what it takes in order to get stronger with our condition, OI. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the gym for OI people. Is it beneficial? Should you go about it? What's the pros and cons when going to the gym? So our condition, OI for short, osteogenesis imperfecta, is a debilitating condition, right? So with that being in mind, you have to take care of yourself every single day. There's not a day where you can't take care of yourself. You need to be mindful and aware of everything what you do, right? Because we are very prone to fractures and we are vulnerable in the first place. So the gym is a place where people go in order to exercise. Exercise using equipment in order to get stronger and to develop muscles, right? So as an OI person, the crucial point is to develop a stronger, durable body. And the only way you could do that is by exercising. Strength and muscle building doesn't come from staying inactive, right? You need to become active in order to create a stronger, durable body. If you're always sedentary, laying in the bed, sitting in a chair, and absolutely not doing anything, your strength, your muscles, and overall your health will be impacted greatly, because being sedentary or being inactive all the time, right, decreases your lifespan in the long run, and it makes your body weak and more vulnerable and susceptible to more fractures, or it'll become easier to fracture because your bones and muscles don't have the strength in order to withstand the pressure and the movements and everyday activities, right? So if you're one of those people who are very weak and prone to fractures quite easily, then listen up, because this is very crucial for you guys. I've been there. I've experienced what you experienced throughout your whole entire lifetime, right? As a kid, I broke tons, like over 100 bones, okay? 100 fractures in my lifetime. Back then, when I was a kid, growing up to a teenager, during those phases, I broke a ton. Those were my most fracture rates, right? As a kid and up into my teenage years, which is to be expected, because as a kid, you don't really exercise. And when you grow up, and hit puberty, right, things starts to change. You develop more strength, and testosterone plays a role, and overall, you've just been living longer, therefore creating more resilience within yourself, right? But we are still prone to fracturing, and I'm still prone to fracturing, don't get me wrong, but I have developed my body to withstand greater pressure from everyday activities. I am able to lift heavy objects without a hassle, or without worrying something may happen, right? And overall, my body is strong to the point where the stuff that I used to do, right, that would cause injuries or fractures, no longer is that the case nowadays, right? So going to the gym is it can be very dangerous, but yet beneficial, depending on how severe you are. Every OI person is different. They respond different. Their body as a whole is different, right? A lot of people have deformities. They have limitations when it comes to how they move, and so on and so forth. I do have deformities. I do have limitations as well, but I have to work around them. So you have to work around your disability, your limitations, and deformities and stuff like that, right? So with that being said, in general, the gym is very beneficial. I have another video regarding on how to get stronger with other methods, such as utilizing a pool or a heated pool and stuff like that. So if you want to go check that out, go on my YouTube channel, and I have a video regarding how to get stronger with OI, right? Click on that video for more details on how to get stronger overall with OI. But this video is about the gym, right? So the first time, if you're a first gym goer or first time going to the gym, right, it's going to be quite overwhelming, because there's just ton of equipment, ton of stuff to go about, a lot of machines, a lot of equipment, heavy machines, so on and so forth. So you have to be mindful and aware and understand your body what it could do. What's your capabilities, right? And then from there, you dictate, okay, I could do this, I can't do that. And then from there, you go about your exercises regularly, right? And then from there, hopefully, you don't encounter an injury. An injury could happen at any moment, but you need to take precaution at all costs, right? You have to be mindful and aware and take precautionaries in everything you do, in every aspect. So when you go about an exercise, right, if you're simply curling, you need to make sure everything is proper. You make sure you have proper technique and form. So you just don't want to go like this, right? You want to have proper technique and form, because that will lessen the ability to become injured, right? A lot of people who don't have OI also needs to focus on proper form and technique if they don't want to encounter an injury. A lot of injuries that occur at the gym or while exercising mostly due to improper form and technique, because they're not stabilized, they're doing things fast, and they're using their ego, or they're simply doing the exercise wrong, therefore leading to an injury, or they're prone to becoming injured because it is improper, right? A lot of bodybuilders and just weightlifters in general can't stress this enough. Proper form and technique is everything. So if you're a first time gym goer, go watch some YouTube videos on how to properly lift, or how to go about proper form and technique when it comes to certain exercises. Every exercise is different, and you need to learn how to go about it. Especially with our condition OY, you need to manipulate certain things in order to achieve what you want to achieve, right? For example, my left shoulder cannot go all the way up compared to my right. So I have to work around that, manipulate the exercise in order to target my shoulder muscles, right? If I just go straight into the shoulder exercise due to my limitations and with my disability, I'm going to encounter a injury because it's already prone, and I don't want to cause that injury, right? So I have to manipulate it, find other ways, or if you can't manipulate it, you have to find another exercise that will target that specific muscle that you are wanting to train. So that's probably the hardest part when it comes to the gym and or exercising with weights or machines, because due to our limitations and with our condition that is already prone to fracturing, right, you really need to focus and be dialed in when it comes to exercising, right? And now the other aspect is, how much weight should you be lifting or going about, right? So everyone is different, as I mentioned. Back in the days, I couldn't even lift like 10 pounds, like the dumbbells, 10 pounds. I couldn't even do that. But nowadays, I could lift like 50 pounds dumbbells in one arm. You know what I mean? So I've developed the strength and the resilience in order to withstand that type of pressure. So if you're a first-time gym goer, as I mentioned, you need to take everything small and very light. You need to understand your body and your capabilities. Just because you may feel strong doesn't mean you're going to lift heavy amount of weights. You need to really fiddle with the weights and get a understanding, get the sensation, the feeling of lifting and or exercising. Once you have that concept, in your mind, once you have that understanding of yourself and how much capabilities you have, or what you can do without causing an injury, right? That would be the best thing, because you're not going to encounter an injury, right? And I had to learn this the hard way. Everyone goes through trials and errors, essentially. Yes, I haven't encountered a fracture per se, but I've encountered many injuries during the gym. Now, not many, but I've encountered several injuries at the gym due to improper form, or just ego lifting because I'm in the zone, or the weights were too heavy, right? But once you get the understanding of how heavy you could go, the capabilities, right, essentially, then it is easy to start progressing, right? So you want to start off small, as I mentioned, maybe 5 pounds, 3-pound dumbbells, and go from there. If you feel like it's super easy and you're not straining yourself, you're not stressing, it's not overwhelming, okay, fine. You understand that you are strong in this case, and you can progress in higher or heavier weights. So therefore, you grab a heavier dumbbell, for example. So you went from 2 to 3 pounds, now you're going to go up to 5 to 10 pounds. And you go about that exercise, and now you dictate whether, okay, was it very hard or was it very easy? Just because it may be easy doesn't mean it doesn't, or it can't lead to an injury, right? It can lead to an injury. It just depends on the strain and amount of pressure that your muscles or bones are using, if that makes any sense, right? So it's all about like understanding the threshold as well. Just because it's super easy doesn't mean like an injury could happen in the next, rep or so, right? You have to understand the limit, when to stop, right? If that makes sense, because our bones are just fragile in the first place, right? So just because you did like 3 sets of 15 reps or whatever the case might be, the next set may cause an injury. But you have to understand, how much I could go, how far I could push myself, but yet when do I stop? And this is where many other people, not just OI people, run into the issue of, right? They push themselves a little bit too far, and they encounter many muscle strains or muscle tearness or whatever the case might be. Oh, let me fix this real quick. Sorry for the background noise, my gardener's here. But yeah, so that's the main critical thing and the crucial thing that everyone needs to take into account, not just OI people, but how far you can push yourself. You don't want to push yourself far, especially with our condition, OI, because you have a greater chance of becoming injured. So with that being said, you should leave at least 5 to 10% of your power left in the tank, right? And then once you have the grasp, the understanding of yourself as a whole, your strength, your capabilities, and so forth, then you could start emptying the tank, going balls to the walls, pedal to the metal type deal, right? I do this when I feel very strong and when I have a great sense of myself. Sometimes we don't have a great sense of ourselves. Sometimes we're lost in the sauce. Sometimes we're distracted. So that's it, people. I go to the gym myself. I go at least 3 to 4 times a week. I go to the gym, and it does wonders for me. If I didn't exercise, if I weren't lifting weights, I would be weak and much more fragile, right? I would encounter fractures from everyday activities just by simply, opening a heavy door or lifting an object that might be quite heavy. But that doesn't happen to me anymore. I have fallen off my wheelchair a couple times and didn't encounter a fracture. And that is because when you exercise or lift weights or use resistant bands, I have a video about all of this on my other YouTube videos. Check out my YouTube channel for that. It will be titled like Osteogenesis Imperfecta or anything in that nature that involves OI. So go check that out. But yes, exercising helps develop stronger bones, and it creates more muscle. So as a result, your body's more resilient and able to withstand greater pressure. Therefore, you can lift heavier things without causing injuries. And that's the main thing that we need to strive for. Okay, guys? That's the main thing. That's it for us OI people. This also ties in with elderly people and just people in general. People who aren't active, they're also prone to injuries and stuff like that because they're sedentary, they're inactive, they're not getting the muscles and the bones to work. And when you don't let the muscles and bones work or go about, exercising, the bones and muscles become weak over time. And over time, it takes time, right? And over time, right, your muscles and bones starts getting smaller and weaker, and one day you may encounter an injury. And this is why a lot of doctors stress to elderly patients, people who have osteoporosis, people who have arthritis, people who have OI, and so on and so forth. Essentially, all humans needs to exercise in order to create a durable, strong, and resilient body. But that's it, guys. That's it. There's no magic or anything that you need to do when it comes to the gym. You just need to find what works with you. Avoid the stuff that causes, pain. You want to work with your limitations, not go into the limitation realm and start fucking shit up. You want to work with your limitation and manipulate the exercise, manipulate the angles, and so on and so forth. If you have a personal trainer, they definitely know how to manipulate certain exercises depending on the trainer itself. But if you guys need help with, the gym, working out, exercising, I'm a coach myself. So hit me up if you guys need help with losing weight, gaining muscle, or all the above, learning about nutrition, dieting, and so forth. So if you guys need a coach, I'm your coach. Hit me up in the comment section below or on my social medias. I'm on TikTok and Instagram. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave me a thumbs up. It'll tell me that you did enjoy this video. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave it down below in the comment section. And if you guys want to support me, on my journey, help me get bigger and stronger, consider tipping me on Cash App, right? My Cash App link is in the description, or I have a QR code somewhere around this video. And if you guys want to follow my other social medias or my exclusive content, check out the links in the description. I shall catch you in the next video. Stay strong. Have a great day.